Coming up, Hawkeye basketball gives a warm welcome to their cold in-state rival.
And a date is slated for a special Iowa City election.
And later, Iowa City is shopping local this holiday season.
Finals week, I've got the final forecast of the year in weather.
All that and more
Coming up right now on DITV.
Good morning from Iowa City. It is Friday, December 13th. I'm Jordan Tovar.
And I'm Colin Carruthers.
And the third member of our team, Kayla Smith, is live outside to tell us today's weather forecast.
Yep, guys, as we're reaching the start of winter, it seems like Iowa weather is still playing games with us. I'm here in the Adler Rotunda where I'm hiding out from that freezing cold outside. Now, as for freezing, we are currently in an ice storm warning until 3 p.m. on Saturday. We're expecting ice up to 1/4 of an inch with 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. Now taking a look out at the Pentacrest, today we're looking at a high in those mid-20s during the day that's going to drop down to the low 20s at night. After midnight, we're going to get hit with some freezing rain that'll go into the morning to remind us that winter is still on her way. As for Saturday, we're going to see a pretty massive jump back up to those high 30s before we drop down to the low 30s at night. Now I'll have the rest of the forecast later, so for now let's check back in with the studio.
This week, the Hawkeye basketball teams battled their in-state rivals, the Iowa State Cyclones, in the annual Cyhawk Series, and DITV had coverage across both women's and men's games.
After suffering their first loss of the season to the Tennessee Volunteers, the 21st-ranked Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball team faced adversity and took down their in-state rival, the 18th-ranked Iowa State Cyclones, in a top 25 battle. Iowa State got rolling first, taking a 12-2 lead over the Hawkeyes, led on by Audie Crooks.
And she's so big and strong, so people want to say, oh, she's big, and she's got a beautiful touch. She does a lot of work early. I didn't go into this game thinking that she wasn't going to have 30.
Iowa bounced back going into the second quarter down just 3 points, and after a back and forth quarter of basketball, a late three from Kelsey Jones took the Cyclones into halftime, up 39-36 over the Hawkeyes. Despite some early struggles and a 10-point deficit in the third quarter, it was the Hawkeye defense that really turned the tide for them going down the stretch and gave them the lead over the Cyclones.
I think that second half, we went back more true to our principles, and we were able to cause some turnovers.
Iowa turned defense into offense, forcing 21 turnovers and scoring 24 points off of those turnovers, with some of those coming in big moments in the fourth quarter to chop the lead down.
I mean, there was a couple of them that I don't know if we were colorblind or what for a second, because I don't know where we were throwing the ball.
You know, defense is super important this year. We put a lot of emphasis on that, so I'm glad we can execute it.
Iowa got back within striking distance, and a layup from Hannah Stolke gave Iowa the lead, but in the last 4 minutes, it was the defense that forced 5 turnovers and took the game over. And in the end, it was Aaliyah Guyton that stole the show, hitting a big-time three to put Iowa up 8 with just 45 seconds left to play. After bouncing back from their loss against Tennessee, the Iowa women's basketball team is not in for a break anytime soon, as now they head out to East Lansing on Sunday to take on the 17th-ranked Michigan State Spartans in their Big Ten opener. But now for a look at the Iowa men's basketball team game against the Cyclones, let's go to DITV's Joel Keller.
We were right there with them. We had a ton of energy, got the crowd into it, and they kept hitting us with runs, but we'd always hit them back, which I'm really proud of us for.
The Hawkeyes welcomed Iowa State in the Carver Hawkeye with a strong crowd and a hot start, hitting 7 3-pointers and leading the third-ranked team in the country 44-37 at halftime.
They came out and they were ready to play. They were focused. They were locked in. They made shots. They backed us up time and time again.
That's what we signed out for, so I was ready to go.
They spaced us out so well. They had such a great plan. They had us back on our heels for the first 35 minutes, and that's a huge credit to them.
The stars were aligning for a premier upset win over third-ranked Iowa State, but the Hawkeyes could only muster 2 made field goals in the final 6 minutes of the game.
We had plenty of shot opportunities to win the game, and made a bunch, then didn't make them.
It was a really good game for 37 minutes, and then they just hit big shots and we didn't, and that's, you know, sometimes what basketball comes down to is just who makes the shots when you need them.
We were a little better with some of our contests, a little better on the basketball, gave us a better chance to get stops.
That's one of the best teams in the country, if not the best right now, and you know, we're right there with them for a long time.
You got to give them credit. You know, those two guys made threes. They're good players, and they stepped up and made shots. You got to give it to them.
I'm proud of everybody. You know, we have a lot to build on. That's what Coach said, and you know, make a few plays here and there, and you know, we're probably 10-0. So that's the way it goes.
After the heartbreaking loss, the Hawkeyes look ahead to Sunday, where they will face New Orleans, looking to get their shooting back on track. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, I'm Joel Keller, DITV Sports.
Iowa City's council voted to hold an election to fill Councilor Andrew Dunn's seat. A special election will be held on March 4th, 2025 to fill the seat, in which all Iowa City residents would be eligible to vote. Dunn announced he would be stepping down from his role as District C's representative due to his continuous travel outside the city. And a jury has found a man guilty of first-degree murder on Tuesday. In 2021, Renard Winfield Jr. shot and killed Iowa City local Tommy Curry. Investigators say they found surveillance video from multiple sources showing Winfield's vehicle fleeing the scene of the murder. During Tuesday's closing statement, the state decided that Winfield's actions were premeditative. Winfield now faces life in prison.
President Biden makes history with record-breaking numbers of pardons. Biden has pardoned 39 people, and over 1,500 people have had their sentence cut down dramatically. This large number makes it the largest day of clemency in the United States history. His first pardon was his son Hunter Biden, even though he said that he would not. We are now just over a month out from Donald Trump's presidential inauguration, but Washington still has plenty of work to do before he can be sworn in. The states had until Wednesday to confirm their election results, and on December 17th, electors will meet in Washington, D.C. to cast the electoral votes. After that, Congress will need to pass a new government funding bill before December 20th to avoid a shutdown. The 119th Congress of the United States will begin on January 3rd, when all newly elected members of Congress will take the oath of office. Then, Kamala Harris will preside over the counting of electoral votes. On January 6th, finally, on Inauguration Day, Trump will become the second president to be elected to 2 non-consecutive terms. Once the new Congress begins, the Senate will start hearing for Trump's cabinet picks. 31 people are currently selected to fill the cabinet and White House positions, but not every position needs to be approved by the Senate.
And having pets is great, but they can have more purpose than playing fetch. DITV's Marshawn Gunn is live with one of those animals that helps in a different way.
Yeah, it may look like I'm slacking, but I'm actually sitting here with my emotional support cat, Marco. This is actually my brother's, but he is serving a much bigger purpose. Beyond emotional support, animals can help in a multitude of other ways, the biggest being a service animal. Kylie Call is legally blind. That's why she has her service dog, Freya.
The physical benefit is one of the biggest things. It makes my day-to-day life so much easier.
Freya is specially trained specifically for Call's disability. Disabilities can be tricky, but animals like these help people with disabilities get something back that they may have lost.
Independence, I really think, is the biggest thing. People with disabilities are capable of just as much. It just has to be accommodated in a different way. And having a guide dog has granted me so much of that confidence in myself and the independence to know that I can do what I need to do.
There's one more type of animal that can help people. Therapy animals. These animals specialize in helping groups of people. While all animals can bring joy, not all of them can be a therapy animal.
These are dogs that absolutely have to be willing to follow obedience, you know, and want to follow and want to be out and practicing and training and doing things.
All that animals can do for us, I'm sure that Marco here is having his best time winding down. So I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
The Custodial Department of Facilities Management is dedicated to behind-the-scenes work, ensuring the safety and health for students and staff. DITV's Nick Isles has the feature on a service that is more than a cleaning crew.
Custodial Services is made up of over 200 employees who work across campus, some being from several continents throughout the world. As students and staff head home for the evening, the night shift for custodial supervisor Shane Polium and his team begins.
We're the first line of defense. I mean, it's like hygiene and a clean environment is conducive to learning.
According to a poll surveying 1,500 students done by a professor at BYU, 88% of them agreed that a lack of cleanliness causes distraction in a learning environment. Chris Parker, the assistant manager of custodial, believes this service has a strong reputation of keeping all academic and recreational buildings clean.
That's part of what I think sets the tone here at the University of Iowa is we're very proud of our facilities. We want them to look their best.
Besides sanitizing classrooms and other facilities around the university, the department has other unique responsibilities, like raising the flags at the old Capitol building. This building helps symbolize the university's history, something that custodial preserves and helps carry on for the next generation of Hawkeyes.
First thing they want to look at as a parent is this place safe? Is it clean for my son or daughter to attend? And that's where we come in, to ensure that those questions are answered from that aspect.
Ruckner, Polium, and Parker all share their respect for their fellow co-workers in the department.
That's what I get out of that, is the people that show up every day, put forth the effort, and want to do good for the university community.
This kind of appreciation from within the custodial department is what keeps this campus operating and thriving from the inside. From the Pentecrest, Nick Isles, DITV.
With the semester coming to an end and finals week approaching, the Iowa Memorial Union has released a schedule of activities to give some relief to students. Activities include therapy dogs, yoga, free hot chocolate, coffee, and tea, and more. The abundance of events begins Sunday, December 15th with massages and wraps up Thursday, December 19th with a Hawk Shop open house and a grab-and-go breakfast. And you may have noticed downtown Iowa City looking like they are ready to spread some Christmas cheer. DITV's Grace Lathrop got to experience the holidays through the lens of local business owners.
It truly is the best time of the year in downtown Iowa City as businesses gear up for the holiday season. And the Iowa City Downtown District has planned and executed a special promotion to spread some holiday cheer.
Pop-up shops are really popular. It's part event, part marketing. We bring in new retailers each week. People really look forward to seeing who's coming next week. They switch out each week, so it offers some variety for people.
From temporary pop-up shops to local shops, the downtown Iowa City District is creating an environment for small businesses to thrive this holiday season. Hans Jewelers is a local business downtown, and thanks to the hardworking staff and the supportive community, they have been able to celebrate 171 holiday seasons in Iowa City.
The Iowa City Downtown District has been such an amazing asset for us and for the whole downtown area. We can run our stores and we have people on our side looking out, really entertaining our customers when they're not in the store.
Stores like Hans Jewelers have relied in the past on the holiday season to drive sales, and for some businesses, this time of the year makes or breaks their yearly profit.
I feel very fortunate that we're in a community that we have enough consistent business throughout the year, but it is a huge time. You can do a lot of business in 1 month, and there's lots of stores who that is kind of their big section.
Being from a large city, I know I value Iowa City and the small businesses that allow me to shop local this holiday season. From the downtown area, Grace Lathrop, DITV.
Now, Colin, with the holiday season coming up, a lot of people have been asking me, Jordan, how jolly are you feeling right now? How jolly are you feeling, Colin?
I am feeling very jolly, especially with the fact that I just can't wait to go home and set up the ornaments. I usually gift my parents an ornament for Christmas every year, so maybe we'll get a little extra jolly with it this year.
Well, Colin, I'm always feeling jolly next to you. Coming up later, some pets are preparing for the holidays.
And a recap of Cy-Hawk basketball and your finals week for the forecast of the finals week.
We'll be right back after the break.
In Iowa City, history is being made every day. DITV is capturing it all. Politics, sports, and art. Local, state, and nationwide. In front of the camera, behind the scenes, DITV.
DITV.
DITV. DITV. DITV.
DITV Sports. DITV. DITV.
Is capturing history.
And coming up later, I am here at the Iowa City Animal Shelter with a good friend of mine, Shamrock, with a little bit about how you can give back for the holiday season.
Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in on thedailyiowan.com or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM.
Now let's take it back to Kayla for the forecast for the week ahead.
Thanks, guys. Now let's take a look at our forecast for this next week. On Sunday, we're going to be seeing the temperatures in the mid-40s with it dropping to the high 30s at night. There is a chance of rain in the evening. Now Monday's going to keep us with some rain in the morning and temperatures in those mid-40s. On Tuesday, it's going to bring us a little bit of sun with the temperature dropping down to the high 30s. Wednesday's going to cool down with that high in the mid-30s before it drops down at night into the teens. It'll stay about the same on Thursday with a low in the 30s during the day and the upper teens at night. And now all I can think about is how ready I am to head back down south to Tennessee to get a little break from these Midwest chills. Now that's all I've got for the forecast for the next week, so I'll go ahead and send it back to the studio.
Now, during the winter months, I get bored pretty easy. And one of my favorite activities to break this boredom, Colin, is to go bowling.
Oh, really? Well, speaking of bowling, sometimes what I like to do, Jordan, sit down with a bowl of chili, maybe from Skyline Chili, gotta throw it out there from Cincinnati, Ohio, but sit down with some chili and enjoy some bowl games. So with that, we'll go ahead and send it over to DITV Sports' Elise Gann for the rest in sports.
That's right, guys. The Iowa football team will play in the TransPerfect Music City Bowl later this month against the Missouri Tigers. Iowa capped off their season with a win against Nebraska to move to 8-4. Missouri, however, completed the regular season ranked number 19 with a 9-3 record. Iowa will be without notable names Cade McNamara, who has hit the transfer portal, as well as Caleb Johnson, who has declared for the 2025 NFL Draft. The game will take place at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee on December 30th. With the addition of 4 new teams, Big Ten football has become a lot more interesting, and the 2025 schedule has been released. Iowa faced 2 of the newcomers this season, taking a win over Washington and an upset loss to UCLA, and will face Oregon and USC this upcoming season. The Hawkeyes will kick things off the same way they have for 6 years straight, opening conference play on the road where they will take on Rutgers. The following week, they will host Indiana for their home opener, and keeping tradition, the Hawks will close out their season against Nebraska. Big schedule ahead, new teams to face, a lot of hot stuff to look forward to. But for now, I'll send it back to Kayla with more about the cold.
Now, thanks, Elise. Now, with students headed home for winter break, we've got some tips to make sure that you stay safe during your travels. In case of wintry conditions, make sure that your tires are filled and have enough tread. It's always smart to keep extra clothes, food, and water in your car in case of a car-stopping blizzard. Now, hopefully you won't be facing any winter storms, but if you do, do not worry about speeding home because you will get there eventually. Now, don't bother with cruise control either if it's slippery out to avoid hydroplaning. Now, the top thing to do is make sure you drive for the conditions. Now, drive safe and have an excellent break, and I'll send it back to our guys in the studio.
A lot of exciting things going on with sports and some nice travel safety tips right there.
Absolutely. It's definitely needed, especially if you're going to go down to the bowl game in Nashville, like we heard from Elise, or just traveling around even the Carver Hawkeye Arena. You just always want to be safe with whatever you do.
Certainly, Colin. And now we're going to send it out to Jace Bertrand, who has some furry friends for us.
Thanks, guys. And yeah, I'm here with my brand new best friend, Shamrock, and sorry for everyone at home. Me and him had a lot of playtime beforehand, so he's a little bit sleepy right now. But as you can see, this is one of the sweetest dogs to possibly exist in Iowa City right now. He is just about 2 years old, and he is a Pit Bull Terrier mix. And despite his breed, he is just the most lovable, cuddly guy I have ever met. He's sitting in my lap right now. All he wants to do is cuddle and love someone. Now, he is still a bit of a pup. He's a bit excited. He has this wicked tail of his. So the shelter does request that people with children maybe have older children if they're looking at Shamrock, just so no one gets hurt with his happy tail. But otherwise, he just loves to play and run around, and he's still a pup. He's still new to this whole owner thing, but in just the time we've had together, he's already learned how to sit and cuddle with me, so I think he'll be just fine. Now, the Iowa City Animal Shelter has a few dogs also looking for adoption, and they are fled with up to their ears and nose with cats, so if you're looking for a feline friend this Christmas, they are looking for adoptees as well for that. They also have some guinea pigs, but if you're not looking to adopt and you still want to help out the animal shelter, they're looking for blankets, food, monetary donations, just anything you can give to give back to the Iowa City Animal Shelter. Now we're going to send it back to the studio, but from the Iowa City Animal Shelter, this is Jace and Shamrock.
Just melts your heart, Colin.
Absolutely. I saw the Shamrock's tail wagging there. Reminds me of one of my dogs at home who just can't stop moving whatever it is.
Thank you for joining us online or listening on KRUI 89.7 FM. We'd like to thank you all for tuning in this semester to DITV.
From the election, Iowa sporting events, and everything in between. Another great semester will be in store when we come in back in January.
For Jace Bertrand and Elise Gann, I'm Jordan Tovar.
And for Kayla Smith and our graduate, Marshawn Gunn, I'm Colin Crithers, and we will see you back here in January.
Have a happy holidays and a rockin' new year.